Yashala, Yahawah, AHLAHAYANAWA, Yahawah, Chad, Shemai, Yashala, Yahawah, AHLAHAYANAWA, Yahawah, Chad, Shemai, Yashala, Yahawah, AHLAHAYANAWA, Yahawah, Chad, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah YAHAWASHI, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah YAHAWASHI, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah YAHAWASHI, Bahashem Ruach QADASH, HALALYAMLA, ABADDON, AHLAHAYANAWA, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, Bahashem Ruach QADASH, Shabbat Shemayim.
All right, so what the brother and I said in the Hebrew tongue was, "Hear, O Israel, Yahawah, our God, Yahawah is one. Bless you, Yahawah. Bless you, Yahawah. In the name of the Holy Spirit, all praises, our Father, our God, Yahawah, in the name Yahawah Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit, in heaven, double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone. All right, much respect. Say Akim for our labor work. Shalom. The believers that Akim or Akwa, brothers, you amount of sisters who subscribe to the truth. As always,
WADA YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, Ruach QADASH.
give thanks to our powerful Holy Spirit, which gives us understanding, scriptures in the Bible, and have faith in the true names of our power.
YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, Bahashem Ruach QADASH.
YAHAWAH RATAZA, that today's lesson is edifying.
RAWCHAA.
We spirit party power outside. For the mafia, for the boom. All right, going into 3 different topics today. Signs of the heavens. How
There's a tradition of men and a decrease in cattle. There's a big significance in the decrease in cattle because there's a newly spawned, tick disease. Yeah. So yesterday we went into it, how not to be dismayed at the signs of heaven and also the the signs on the earth, right? Animals, sheep, they're walking around in circles 12 days. Now, we're also going back into it where now there's actually over CERN, right, in Geneva, Switzerland. There is a circle, it looks like some sort of circular portal looking type thing over the CERN facility, right? And this is called at nighttime. The brother posted it, right? Now I was looking at it, I was just like, damn, like all these things are happening, but a lot of people are really not taking heed. Scriptures say, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for heathen, right? But I want to open up with
we said because in that video, whoever recorded the video, and there's many other videos where people will record activities going on in heaven, in the sky, like periods, people drinking the UFOs, that weird looking portal looking thing in Switzerland. Not too long ago, the brother and I ourselves, we I think like a few nights ago, we were walking to the store, and the direction we were heading was going south, and it was very dark outside, very dark. It was it's already like sunset, it was like 8:30 in already, but it's that one particular area. You see, it looks like you got like dark clouds. It's like clouds, like the sky was like split open. That's what it looks like, and it looks like something from the upside down world in Stranger Things. You had like this reddish light, and it's kept like
pulse, like flickering.
Yeah, we weren't dismayed at it. We were just more like astonished. Oh, you want that shit?
Yeah, we were trying to see what it was.
Dope as shit.
I want you guys to see that video with my brother. Right, it looks kind of cool. I was like, oh shit.
doorway.
Yeah, bro.
From one room to
See something huge as hell fall out the sky. Boom!
like the movie what was it, Avengers? Uh there's one of the Avengers movie where they used that blue cube to open a fucking portal for that
Oh,
army to
yeah,
come
yeah,
through.
yeah.
Yeah.
I forget what that shit called.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
You know, you start seeing like a whole army of demons and shit
Yep.
like this coming through.
Yeah, those monstrous apparitions.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Kind I wanted to grab this is the book of Luke, chapter 21, and verse 25. You know, straight to the point. It says, "And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations." Right, and is that not going on right now? Right, we had a sign in the sun, right, which the astronomer said that the sun had a smiley face on it, right? And the moon, we just had recently, you know, the second blood moon of the year, which is very unheard of, you know, very, very rare. And, you know, now the signs in the heavens as well, which upon the earth, which is this damn portal, right? But we also see other stuff out here, you know, in Texas, right? That, you know, we're not dismayed of. And then also at the end of the day, too, distress of nations, right? We got you know, nations around the world that are going through, you know, their chaotic states of fucking living right now, you know? That's how you know that it's like Elder Gabar was saying in his lesson, you know, when it says, you know, in the beginning ages, that's the age of the beginning. And then when it says the middle ages, that's the middle of the age of actually flourishing. Now, you know, we're at the end of the age, right? We're at the end of the age of wickedness, the age of the age of wickedness, Esau's rulership, right? So it says the stress of nations, and with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, right? Perplexity goes into inability to deal with and understand something complex or unaccountable, right? Confusion, there's a lot of confusion around the world about, you know, the so-called chariots, you know, the so-called UFOs, really, like it, you know, but we know them to be the chariots of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, you know, the incomprehensibility, bewilderment, failure to understand something, all right? Around the world, you know, people are really truly dismayed at these signs that are happening around the world, especially, you know, the animals walking around in circles for 12 days. They don't know what to you know, bring about of it, but they're what they try to do is bring, you know, the masses of the people is like, you know, awakening. They try to bring it back low, like, oh, it's because, you know, the shepherd isn't there and they're at that point in time where they're supposed to be migrating. Just, you know, since they have no shepherd, they're just walking around in circles. And that just mellows the people back down to sleep. Because Esau Edom can easily fucking make his way with his smooth fucking words to sleep people back to sleep, right? When anything rises suspicion in the community, it gets put right back down by Esau Edom because it's so cunning, easily manipulates the masses of the population. His fucking slithery ass tongue, his smooth words.
Uh, we get that in NLT, but
Okay.
it says in the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 25, it says, "And there will be strange signs in the sun, moon, and stars." So then we had another blue moon, another blood moon not too long ago, which happened twice within a 1 year time frame. And you know, and there's many strange signs. You know, these things are considered strange unto the people of this world. It's unsettling when they can't understand what they're seeing. Um, it says, and here on earth, the nations will be in turmoil, perplexed by the roaring seas and strange tides. So there's even signs on earth, and the nations are being, that's one of the many signs on earth is that the nations are being perplexed with perplexed by the roaring seas and strange tides. So you know, the brother said, you know, people on earth they're confused about what's going on. But the only people that truly understand what's going on are the prophets of the whole Australia, right? The so-called black men, so-called Hispanic Latino men, so-called Native Indian men, still the Howard and Bowies, who people just scoff and knock out others wearing so-called dresses, right? Right? We know what's going on.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 2, in verse 19. Right straight to the point. It says, I will show wonders in the heavens above and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. Right? Just to reiterate, how the brother was saying, this is the second time we had a blood moon in the sky, right? A lot of people, they were astonished, but they didn't know what they were looking at, right? They were also dismayed, like, confused, right? And it says, okay, wonders above the heavens and signs on the earth, right? So the animals were walking around for 12, days straight, right? And there was also another video caught, I think, in basically in the eastern area, right? The Middle Eastern area, right, where there's, I think it looked like a bunch of bison or a bunch of like big animals with horns, right? I'm not sure but they were doing the same thing. They were walking around a tree. They were walking around a tree, and then I saw another clip with a bunch of deers, and I think it's actually up near like the Canada line. Around there, they were doing the same thing. They were going around in a circle. A bunch of deers doing that.
There's another video too, how mind you, that video of the sheep that was going around circle that took place in China. So I think like Mongolia.
Yep.
And then I think like a day later, 2 days later, I came across another video how in China at nighttime it was like a flock of crows. Crows flocked me, a lot of them flying all over that one particular city. All over, man. You think it's probably bats out. It was all crows out there, man.
That was darkened by that. Yep.
And usually, apparently, you come across a crow, or crows is usually a good omen or a bad omen. Yep. So you can look at it as both ways. The good side of it, like, hey, something about to happen, right? YAHAWAH BAHASHAM is right, but it will be bad news onto those who don't know what's going on. They will look at that death is on its way, and it is great. Death is on its way. It goes into that pretty much. The day of the Lord is of darkness, right? Yep. Death, sorrow, misery, right? Which one?
Okay, this is my last one. And this is Ecclesiastic. It's also known as Sirach, chapter 5, verse 15. Right, it says, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. Right, so we're not supposed to be ignorant of any of these things that are happening. Small signs or big signs, right? These animals that are walking around in a circle, which is considered to be a small sign to these people around the world, right? We take heed to that. We also know that animals have a different knowingness, right? They have a different sense of perception of these things that are happening. They have, since they can't speak or really do anything, they do a lot of their stuff by instinct, pure instinct and will, right? So they got a different knowing. They can feel the presence of danger, right? Or some sort of calamity is coming. They got a presence, they got that knowing, a feeling, right? So they do certain things by accident, but the masses of the people, they're just like, oh, that's weird. They're just doing whatever. They don't have a shepherd. That's why they're doing it. They kind of brush it off like, oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. And that's how Esau Edom does to the masses. People start to look at that because that video actually went viral. With the one with the damn sheep going around a circle, that went viral. And they're basically trying to say like it was just the fact that the sheep had no flock or no how you call it, like
you look at that spiritually, right? That was once us when we got delivered out of Egypt. We were wandering around the wilderness like 40 years or something. Right? We had no shepherd. We just going on a circle. Right? Shalom, talking about that, I'm getting the book of Job. Book of Job, chapter 12, verses 7 and 8. It says, but ask now the beasts, and they shall teach thee, and the fowls, of the air, they shall tell thee, or speak to the earth, and it shall teach thee, and the fishes of the sea shall declare unto thee. So pretty much, examine the animal's behavior, whether it's a fowl in the sky, beasts on the land, creeping things like insects, sea creatures, the earth itself, the trees, the weather, right? You take the time to actually think, right? Don't be too caught up on your phone and social media. Actually, take the time to fucking look around, examine, be circumspect, right? You will see, like, yo, something ain't right.
Yep.
You got animals behaving a certain way, which is abnormal. You got strange events in the skies. All these fucking the constant air traffic of jets just keeps spraying shit. And all of a sudden, 2 or 3 days later, it just fucking rains out of nowhere. All right.
When the forecast predicted it would be sunny, and
Yep.
out of nowhere now it's all raining the whole week. Wow.
Yesterday was 2 days ago, it was fucking raining heavy, very chilly. Yesterday, sunny, bright, fucking it was warm. Today, all over again, dark, raining, cold. Yo, all right, that's Esau Edom fucking with the weather. So pretty much, like first say, signs in the heavens, the skies, and then Job chapter 12, verse 6 and 7. So pretty much, just examine earth, examine what's around you, examine the animals, and it will tell you, it will teach you, like, yo, something's happening, something's about to happen.
And a lot of our people lost touch with, real, true reality. And they lost touch with the world, the earth itself. It's because they're so in tune with this technologically advanced, ways of living. Niggas got smartphones, niggas got fucking cell phone tablets, niggas got smart watches that they can talk to each other with they watch. But they're more in tune with that bullshit than seeing what's truly out there, man. Seeing what's really going on. If you're truly enlightened, spiritually awakened to this truth, and the truth of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, right? You would know the energy outside is not the same as how it used to be a couple years ago. Especially, me personally, like a couple years ago, I didn't feel any type of fucking connection. I was the same way, but now it's just like I see everybody on the same wave as how I was a few years ago, but I truly feel like, yo, but these people are really through. Once all these calamities start to come down and knock on their front door, that shit gonna kick them in their fucking mouth, man. And it's not gonna be pleasant. That shit gonna hit you like a freight
train. Especially when you've been in this truth long enough and been growing with the wisdom and knowledge of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM. You guys can take time to examine reality. In the spirit, you can literally feel the pain of earth itself. You can it's like you can hear that silent scream from the trees begging our power to, like, just either just destroy the trees, destroy them,
take them out
their misery. Animals, it's like you can just feel the pain of our power's creation. Because all of this creation, on earth, is pretty much life. Life from within. You can feel its pain.
Sad, man. Especially when Esau Edom wants to fucking just chop down many fucking trees and shit just to create buildings.
Literally, I ain't gonna lie, you. When I see trees being cut down, it's like I can feel the tree screaming. It's like witnessing a person being cut open or being cut up alive. That's how I see a tree. When I see trees being cut down, it feels like I'm looking at an actual living being under no kind of pain meds to ease the pain away. Just fucking screaming in agony.
The world we live in.
That's what happens when you got a fucking Edomite and rule shit. You got Amalek and rule shit. Fucking small hats. They are literally known as the destroyer of earth. That's all they fucking do is destroy, kill.
We're gonna move into this next topic, sedition among men. This is something I found about the Israeli military. That they're actually saying or going at their own people into their own houses, killing them, shooting them for no reason, even in the streets. shooting us. And I was looking it up. They have no direct orders from their, their hierarchy of military, right? Military personnel. They have no orders directly coming down from their head, talking about, hey, go execute this, this, and that. You know how like me and the brother in the military, you get orders to do or to execute a certain thing or a mission, right? And they have no instructions on doing what to do this what they're doing. But I'll show you the video. Move on. Play one more time. One more time. Okay, Con, you saw there, man. Like I was saying, they have no direct orders from their top head leader of their military talking about go do this, go to people's houses and start killing them for whatever reason. Go whoever's on the street, execute them because I said so type shit. Like no, they are literally working under their own accord. So they are literally going in the streets, executing, kicking in doors, executing people, deleting people, just because they want to. There's literally no orders that are saying for them to do that, right? So that just goes to show you, man. We're in them times where sedition among men is literally on the rise, man. And I wanted to open up with this. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, right? The fact that iniquity is on the rise, right? Sin upon sin, the fact that it's increased, right? Around the world, these other nations that are scattered abroad about us, right? They're literally going through this scripture right now, how the love of many is waxing cold. Like these people in the military have no orders, but to do this, but they're doing it on their own accord. So the love of many is waxing cold out there. Nobody, they're not giving a fuck about their own people. When the military over there is supposed to be, their protection, right? They're actually going against that and actually just killing their people willingly, for no reason, right?
I was gonna wait until you get the actual tradition.
Okay, yeah, I was about to get it now.
From verses 14 through 19. I was gonna read it in the new translation.
Okay.
Unless you want me to know something else.
No, that's the second one right there. Let's see. Bear with us, bears.
In fact, while you look for that,
Yeah.
if you look at that video spiritually, you see how a kingdom is being divided against itself, which is going to eventually cause civil war, right? The book of Mark, chapter 3, verses 24 to 26, the New Living Translation, it says a kingdom divided by civil war will collapse. And King James Version says a kingdom divided against itself and right? Because what? That civil war happened, okay? A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse. And that's going to happen here in Babylon, aka Persia, lower. It says similarly, a family splintered, shattered, crumbled by feuding, right? Fighting, bickering, arguing, will fall apart. And if Satan is divided and fights against himself, how can he stand? He will never survive. Right? So that's what's happening right now. You can look at Iran as an example, it's going through that kingdom being divided against itself. And that's why Iran is falling. That's why the people are paving the way are and life itself is the way it is.
Real quick, but to add to that, the Iranians are doing that to their own people. Not too long ago, the Chechens did that in, Russia to their own people. And it was all because, matters of war. Putin's, massing for his military, his numbers. So they were being told, hey, we need 1,000 of y'all, right? 1,000 of the Chechen people volunteered, came over, whatever, became part of Putin's army, which was really just to test the waters. Then he came back over there with a full-fledged force, talking about, hey, I need 70,000 more of y'all, and they was not having it. Since the fact that they said, no, we're gonna stand our ground, we're not going. They said, okay, they opened fire. They opened fire and started killing their people too. They're like the brothers saying, civil war. They had civil war over there in Chechnya, right? And now they're having civil war as well over here, in Iran. That just goes to show you, man, these scriptures are alive and well, man, and they're having roundabout Babylon. How much more so when it actually happens full fledged over here in Babylon, aka America. It's gonna be something beyond your expectation. Babylonians love their damn guns. They love being prideful, talking about I got a patriotic spirit. I love having weapons and shit. So it's gonna be a lot worse over here for you Babylonians, especially you Hebrew Israelites that know you Hebrew Israelites, then repent back to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Move away from your transgressions and your sins. It's gonna be a lot worse for y'all. You're not gonna have a head protection. You're gonna be killed by these damn, by the sword, right? By Esau Edom, which is the sword of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. But it can come in also many other fashions, right?
So brother Yawana,
Shalom, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verses 14 through 19. Like verse 14, woe to the world, right? Destruction, and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hands, right? There shall be sedition among men and invading one another. Now, are they not doing that in that video, right? It said that they were entering people's houses, right, and killing them and executing people on the streets that were just running around, right? That's what this scripture is live and well over there, man. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They have no power, or they have no orders coming down from their higher power, right? Their government talking about, oh, do this. This is why y'all doing this. Go do that. Execute these people for this. No, they're doing this on their own accord. Of their own accord. They're literally taking the powers into their own hands and executing these people, kicking in their doors, killing them. And whoever's running out their houses, they're executing them out there on the streets. Right? Verse 17, for a man shall desire to go into his city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation.
I'm gonna get that in a good news translation and try to make it as plain as the world and the people in it are doomed.
Damn.
The war that will bring their destruction is very near. Right? World War III, Civil War, race wars, upon wars everywhere. Right? Especially World War III though. And Civil War. Nations will arm themselves, right? Because the sword here, modern day swords, would be firearms, guns. Then again, I wouldn't be surprised if you got people out there with machetes and katanas and like homemade deadly weapons. Okay, nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. There will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. That's the people taking the power into their own action. Right? Verse 17, there will no longer be free access to the cities because the struggle for power will bring destruction terror and total confusion wherever people live. So people are not going to have that luxury to have free access to travel because one, another lockdown is going to take place, and this other lockdown is going to be much more draconian, much more harsh, strict. They may even have martial law at the time, or like law, troops controlling who gets patrolling the people's movement. Okay. Um, verse 19, it says, driven by famine, like hunger, right, and terrible suffering, people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. So because of the great famine, starving, people starving, there's no food out there, you can no longer get your goodies, right? And because people are suffering, there's so much sorrow, people are going to start like you read earlier, the love of many wax cold, right? Because what? Iniquity, wickedness, sin upon sin, that great famine, that terrible suffering. So people ain't gonna love each other no more. People ain't gonna have no pity upon each other. All right? And they just gonna all people are gonna think about is how can he or she get their back?
Yep.
How can he or she get food, water, medicine, strong drink, etc. All right? That's the time we coming in.
So this is my last one right here. This is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 5. It says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Right? For men shall be lovers of their own selves. Right? And are they not being lovers of their own selves, taking the actions into their own hands, shooting their own people, right? Taking it into their to their own accord about killing the masses of people, kicking in doors, killing them, right? It says, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontentment, fierce, despisers of those who are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. Real quick, this society that's going on over there, right, in Iran, they're literally becoming lovers of themselves, right? And the fact that they have no damn higher power or government orders basically telling them to go execute this, this sort of judgment or thing that they're doing, just goes to show you, man, that they're doing this of their own accord. They're becoming lovers of themselves. They're not worried about, the repercussions that are going to come afterward, consequences. They're more worried about themselves, right? And it says the pleasures of, I think, let's see real quick. It says lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High, right? So they're probably doing that just so they can be able to, and this is just me speaking as a man. I'm not really sure, but I know that I know that they have no orders to do that, right? They could probably be killing people just so they can have go grab food for themselves, right? Because I know there's starting to be a shortage out there of food, right? Famine is actually growing out there in Iran, right? So that's probably why they said, hey, look, military is not feeding us, man. We about to go kill y'all and fucking take your food. And that's what they did. They started kicking in doors, killing people, executing them on the streets, people and their kids. This just goes to show you, man, that we are in those end days, man. These last days, especially where it says, last days, perilous time shall come. That's what's happening, man. We're seeing that right before our eyes in all these other countries, man, round about us. How much more so in Babylon the Great, man, aka America.
Perilous time, uh, dangerous parts there. So dangerous. So we're definitely in the times where it's very perilous, very dangerous. It's only going to get worse too. It's going to get much more dangerous. Okay. An example: go watch the movie Awake. Right, gives you like an insight of what society would look like once the EMP hits. It's a lawless society. It's pretty much survival of the fittest. mean, I was actually thinking about getting this one. When I brought it up.
Oh, come on.
Just for that video, the Iran video.
Mhm.
The book of Second Ezra, chapter 9, verses 1 through 6. Um, it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And we measured the time diligently in itself through prophecy. Prophecy is like a measuring stick for us to give us uh, an approximate estimate of where we're at in this movie of YAHAWASHI W4Y that's taking place on Earth. Okay, we'll look at articles and news reports, and filter it with scriptures to get an understanding. Like, okay, okay, so okay, now I have an understanding of where I'm at in prophecy. Okay, verse 3. At verse 3, right? It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Right? So earthquakes, like it mentioned in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7, how there will be earthquakes in diverse places, earthquakes in many parts of the world, right? Earthquakes also goes into violent shaking, tempest, like very heavy rainstorms, hurricanes, etc. That also goes into commotion. We're seeing a lot of commotion, right? Perplexity among many nations throughout the world, right? Uproars, right? Uproars, a public expression of protest or outrage. And isn't that in that video we saw a public expression of outrage? They just go around just shooting people, letting them rounds, invading one another, right? That's a public expression. Believe it or not, it's a public expression, right? So you can use that as a sign to measure the time diligent itself, let you know that this is the time that Yahweh is visiting the world that he made. All right? Verse 4. Verse 5. Um, verse 5, right? It says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and the end is manifest. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works, and ending in effects and signs. Right? So just how if there's a beginning to everything, there's an ending of it. And the ending is manifest. We're pretty much stuff like that right now, man. Right? Right? The very ending of Esau's world is being manifest. Esau is the end of the world, the end of an era, an age of wickedness. All right? All right? It's coming to an end. And we about to see literally the beginning of Jacob that follows. A nation, a world where it's governed by the laws, the commandments of Yahweh. All right? Let me get that in Good News Translation right quick. 1 through 4. It said, he answered, consider all these things very carefully. When you see the same, like when you see that some of the signs, like the prophecies I have told you about have appeared, you will know that the time has come when Yahweh Most High will bring judgment on the world he has created. There will be earthquakes, national rebellions, international introduce unstable leaders and confused leaders. Let's use Joe Biden.
I was gonna say, go ahead and bring him out.
Let's use Joe Biden as an example of being a confused leader. It's like an unstable leader and confused ruler. Right? When you see these things happening, you will know that they are what the Most High has spoken about since the beginning of creation. Right? We're definitely those.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Every time I read that part in the Good News Translation, all I see is Joe Biden.
Hell yeah, especially when he didn't.
Stable as hell, you know?
Especially where he didn't know where he was that one time. He was speaking to the masses of the people, right?
Oh, I remember one time he turned around and went to shake hands. There was nobody there.
Oh shit! Hey, yeah.
Yep.
Weird, man.
Anything else you got?
That's his last name. Cattle.
Okay. Oh, yeah, the cattle. Yeah. I have to get that in a keyword too. It has to say star movement. I got one looking right.
We'll start off with the Exodus one. Okay, kind of. So, right, it says, new tick-borne disease is wiping out cattle in the U.S. Right. So, if you guys have remembered a couple months ago, you know they were saying that there were 10,000 cattle that dropped dead, right, instantly overnight, right, and it was from some sort of heat exhaustion, right, that they got like
from the heat wave.
Yeah.
It was in the summertime.
So literally, this just goes to show you now that YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is visiting the world he made because he's also executing the cattle by other pestilences now. So instead of by heat waves, right now he's executing them by pestilence, right, by a newly born tick disease, right. So I wanted to grab this. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 9, verse 3 through 6. Right? It says, behold, the hand of the Lord Yahweh is upon thy cattle, which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, and upon the sheep, there shall be a grievous murrain. Right? Now, this scripture is literally popping out off the books with that article. I went into these words, grievous murrain, right? Grievous is of something bad, very severe or serious, right? Dreadful, hurtful, damaging, or awful. And then murrain, right? An infectious disease, especially babiosis, right? Affecting cattle or other animals. A plague, pandemic, or pestilence, right? Basically. Now, is that not happening, right? Do they not contract a pestilence that's actually executing them to the point where the shortages of cattle has dramatically increased, even now much more so from when that heat exhaustion happened, that heat wave, right? Now it's this pestilence that's happening, right? I'm gonna read it again. This is verse 3, right, in the book of Exodus chapter 9. It says, behold, the hand of the Lord Yahweh is upon thy cattle, which is in the field, upon thy horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, and upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murrain. Right, verse 4. And it says, and the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, shall sever between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt. Right, and there shall nothing die of all that is the children of Israel. And the Lord Yahweh appointed a set time, saying, tomorrow the Lord Yahweh shall do this thing in the land. And the Lord Yahweh doing that thing on the morrow, and all the cattle of Egypt died. Right? So this is happening, and this is happening right now as we speak. The cattle of of Babylon, right? The Great, aka America, is literally being utterly destroyed, and they're being destroyed by these newly created pestilences from a damn tick, when literally ticks usually only give Lyme disease. Now it's a newly born tick disease. And they don't even say what it is. It's just something new now that is literally killing off, the cattle of the people, right? And the fact that how these farmers, right, when a cattle dies, they're just like, all right, if it's a fresh death, let's just harvest the meat, right? Well, they can't do that now with these with these cattle, because the fact that the pestilence is so harsh and affects them, internally and out, right? The meat is actually more is actually, you can't use it basically. It's just unusable. It's unedible. You can't use it. So when they cut open, the cattle, and they look, they're just like, damn, this meat is spoiled. Like we can't use it. It just goes to show you, man, Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is really, really about to starve out you fucking Babylonians, man. You Hebrew Israelites that are, that know that you're Hebrew Israelite, right? But didn't come back to repent. Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, right? This is gonna happen to you, man. You're gonna be starved out with these other fucking heathen nations in this fucking Babylon society.
Pretty much 2/3.
Yeah.
2/3, when that judgment begins within the house, within this ministry, you want to start with those that know that they are Hebrew Israelites, yet you have not truly come back to the only true power, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM RATAZA, in the name of Heavenly Father, in the name of the Son, and in the name of the Holy Spirit.
This is my last one. This is the book of Haggai, chapter 1, and verse 11. And I called for a drought upon the land, and upon the mountains, and upon the corn, and upon the new wine, and upon the oil, and upon that which the ground bringeth forth, and upon men, and upon cattle, and upon all the labor of the hands. So literally, the cattle is being, extinguished, man. The cattle of the land of Babylon the Great, right, aka America, is being extinguished, being, utterly destroyed by the new pestilence. How much more so in a few months? What's going to happen in a few months? And also it says a drought in the land. So look, aren't these rivers and stuff being, dried up? The Mississippi River, right? The River Euphrates is the biggest one. That's the biggest tell sign that the end of the end of this era is literally at its brink of collapse, right? This rulership is literally at its end, because River Euphrates is literally dried up, and they found caves and stuff under there about stuff of Hebrew Israelites, right? Now you got the what it, yep. Yeah, you got all these rivers drying up. Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is lit. It's like that scripture the brother read, that Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is literally visiting the world he made. He's visiting it, and he's causing all these other calamities that are actually having numerous domino effects to the world, man. And this is actually going to happen in a great manner, real soon.
And how is it that Yahawah is visiting the world that He created? Is by putting the words, the Spirit, into these particular prophets to read the words of what the Lord said, to pretty much activate these prophecies. That's a sign that Yahawah is visiting the earth. It's not Him going to crack open the firmament of the sky, you will see Him. No. All right. Spiritually, He is visiting His prophets to use these prophets as mouthpieces to read the words of Yahawah to read prophecies, so prophecy can come to pass. All right. So when you see a prophet, you actually look. When you see but especially when you come across a prophet of Yahawah, you're literally looking at you're actually looking at Yahawah. All right. Let me get that NLT word for you. It says, I have called for a drought on your fields and hills, a drought to wither the grain and grapes and olive trees and all your other crops, a drought to starve you and your livestock, and to ruin everything you have worked so hard to get. Right? That's why you're seeing a lot of droughts happening. A lot of these farmers are not able to grow dying, they starving because of the heat stroke, because lack of water, lack of food. Crops are not growing as usual, right? Everything that people have worked hard for to grow these things, they are losing. Right? Get these stewards because people think that our power is the power of all love.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Right? Maybe Jesus Cristo, that white on top of that. Not Yahweh, right? Uh, so the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 7, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil at times, right? I, the Lord, Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, do all these things. So all the bad things that's happening on earth right now, who the world ignorantly called God and Jesus Christ, Yahawah Yahawashi is creating this, right? I don't know how much A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z I gotta make it, but clearly it says he does all these things.
You would even tell a so-called, Christian of the world, this same scripture, they'd be like, oh no, I'm not
Jesus. Fuck you, Jesus,
right?
Man.
Like, come on, man.
Fuck that goatee, long head, light skinned cat was looking at me. Fuck that. Anywho, Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am like I'm ready again. See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no God with me. So there ain't no Jesus with Yahweh Shai. Ain't no Jesus with Yahweh. All right. It says, I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So Jesus Christ can't fucking deliver you out of the hands of Yahweh Shai. Buddha cannot deliver you out of the hands of Yahweh Shai. Santa Maria, the fucking universe, the chakra, your higher self. Who else? Who else is out there? Your ancestors.
Oh yeah, that one do
it. Right. Yahweh Shai does all these things, man. They're literally in control of everything. All right. Every time when I see the scripture, I think of that dream, that vision that a brother Kazak had. You say he saw what looks like to be Yahweh Shai. He's literally just orchestrating all of the minds, everything on earth. His hand is like someone that is playing like a musical orchestra.
Yep.
And got like that eerie music in the background. He just controls literally everyone's fucking mind, bro. Right? He's controlling good, bad times, good times, the bad times, the peace, the darkness, the light, the darkness, the peace, the evils, famines, destruction, everything, man. Right? Jesus Christ ain't up there doing that. Right? Apparently that nigga's already here. Apparently he's been reincarnated. Go look for that nigga, man. Right? And Santa Maria apparently is here too. Go look for those motherfuckers, man. Apparently he is. That's the God. Alright? That's all that.
I wanted to ask you, what? Brought it out. Amos 3 and 6, the bottom line of the scripture, it says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord Yahawah hath not done it?
So that trumpet is when the prophets of Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi are out there prophesying. Right? They're out there prophesying and giving you warning of what is happening. That's them blowing the trumpet spiritually. By raising up their voice like a trumpet and letting the people hear the day of the Lord that's fastly approaching, which is darkness and not light. Okay.
Honestly, it's at hand already. The day of the Lord is at hand. We're just in the beginning of sorrow.
And we're doing that, and when people do hear the trumpet, and right, and there's already evils among us, right? Mm-hmm. They're not afraid, man. they don't be in fear and trembling when we bring out scriptures like the day of the Lord, man.
Because this is a day and age, generation. I need to see it to believe it. But when your eyes sees it to believe it, it's gonna be too late.
By the time you see it, you're gonna wish that you have believed it before you seen it. By the time you see it, you're going to wish that you have believed it.
You can prepare yourself. Shit. That's all I have.
That's all we got for today's lesson. For the topic we're going to bring out. THAWADAH for the precept. You know, our RAWCHAA, the lesson edifying. Hopefully your spirit was fed. All right, let's close out. I'll give them much due. All praises, honor, and glory to
YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM QADASH.
Double honors
honor.
To the apostles, elders, and bishops for a millstone. Much respect. It is considered Akim for a labor work.
Shalom.
To you believers, to the Akim, Ahakwa, you brothers, and you out, sisters who subscribe to the truth. And as always,
DTA, ABADDON, Kwam Yasharala.
DTA, Death to America, like Kwam, Yasharala, Rise, Prince of
Shalom.
Yeah, might do it. Might be faster.